You ready? I don't know if I actually broke this bridge before, but I'm just gonna do it and see what's going on. Yeah, I did, because it was the Raven up here.
You did? Why the bridge is still there?
Because it got healed by the magical power of saving the game and quitting.
It was nice meeting you,
Right.
Doc. I'll be thinking of a name for your beast.
How about I name her fucking Gratitude? Fucking Gratitude, come over here.
I like that guy.
Hey, what's your hinds in there? That place can bust you up real good.
You left me to fight alone.
I did.
People are one thing. Everything else you fight. Until I say stop or we are dead. Understand? Pull your weight and we go home.
Understand.
Good then.
These little doors with the big yellow on them are kind of cartoonish.
Ah.
I'm happy for all the cartoonish video gamey things that exist in this game. And when I call out something for being video gamey, it's not out of hate, but it's out of love. Because I think more games need to play like video games. I think we were talking about this the other day, and it's like thinking about the success of Fortnite and the success of a lot of games, but like Fortnite especially, it feels like a video game.
Well, speaking
Wait
of
there.
this, I was watching a
It's coming back down again.
You're watching what?
watching a video talking about Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah.
And it's talk about how Odyssey may not be, you know, fit in the canon of the Assassin's Creed. Oh, you did it!
Got him.
Oh, you tripped them so they
I
cannot.
just kept throwing it at their
my-
feet.
Well, that's a good strategy. Anyway, so the main point of that video is say, okay, Odyssey would not fit in the Creed overall. Oh, can you pull them into that? Never mind.
Apparently I can rip him open up against the spike wall.
So Odyssey may not fit into this timeline. And you say, oh, you know, the new animals, because the new modern day character, or main character, Lila, make another animals, right? Is that, yeah, it is, you know, sometimes your animals is different. It's not, like, we're not explaining everything, saying, dude, this shit is a video game after all. And developers will have the right to say whatever they want, you know, just
Well,
like,
yeah.
oh, it's nano weapon.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you're reviewing something, it's
Sinking back down.
you have to keep in mind that this is a product that someone made
Now,
and you
boy.
purchased, not this guy is Satan because he made this thing that I don't like. I mean, somebody had to like it, right?
I'm not tired.
Yeah,
No,
I'm-
that's not. I don't know how valid that is as an argument.
I mean, to be honest, you're not playing a documentary,
I think, well, when it comes to that, money doesn't lie.
right?
Money never lies.
I
in
mean,
that
you
Trust
may
I will
not
not
like
let us die.
Assassin's Creed, and then you still like, oh, I hate this game, but in order to criticize this game, I'm still gonna pay for it. So, by making something really boring is the way to not go, but making this game good or super good or super bad may just give you money, because in order to prove that your game is horrible, they have to actually purchase and play it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, sometimes in that situation, the review, yes, they purchased it, but their bad review of it is going to make it so very few other people actually purchase
You know,
it.
you know, human. Don't jump in. Don't jump down this time.
Okay.
You know, that's how human works, right? they just, oh, I have to see how bad this thing is, and they just do it. And then it just
This way.
it's weird, but that's how human behavior sometimes.
I forgot where to get the thingy. And I know it's not outside of here. I can go back.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Yep.
Oh, what a nice shot. And they obscured a lot with fog, which
Never
is
been
good.
this close to the mountain before. Looks so big.
Dude,
I like the
fog
music.
fog is like the ace in the
Smells
hole
here
for
is
game
it.
design. Silent Hill. Silent Hill just threw fog everywhere because the PlayStation 1 couldn't do shit. It could
Aw.
not process.
Kratos, just hug your child.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
Kratos cannot process. He needs some fog in his
Like speaking
in
of
his fathership.
speaking of
It needs
criticize, speaking of critics and stuff, a lot of people critique this game. Said this game had bad graphic. The graphic is quote unquote PS2. It's like
How'd I miss
it's like a
that?
PS2. And I was like, okay, you can criticize this game being anything, but bad graphic, really?
Have you played a game on the PS2?
I don't. The first console I had is PS3, so.
I don't know if this got recorded.
And one of the first game I played is God of War 3, and that blows my mind. Back then, the water, like when you first drop into the underground, like the underworld, and then you were in the water that the dead spirit just biting on you.
Yeah. That
That
would be the
effect-
River Styx.
Yeah, that
What is it?
effect
Boy.
blew my mind
Look,
back there.
there are runes written along the side.
What does it say?
As we are, we two, we three. As I alone can never be.
A riddle.
The spinny puzzle.
Maybe there's a clue.
Thank
around
you, video games, for reintroducing this puzzle a billion times. I remember seeing this in Tomb Raider more than once, and that's the old Tomb Raider games.
Oh, I haven't. The new Tomb Raider games revolving around
Come back
pulling stuff with Laura. I
Still
don't know.
doesn't look like anything.
Laura, yeah.
You know, unrealistic superwoman power. And this
That
gonna
part's
be
right.
bring out a lot, like people saying, "Oh, you make a strong female character because you have to fit in a like agenda of like LGBTQ or whatever that is." But
Oh, you're talking about like the fallacy of the strong female character and how that has to keep happening. I
Well,
think that has kind
I
of
see
lost all
runes.
meaning because a strong character is a strong character.
Boy.
And that's someone that's fully
What do
fleshed
those
out. It
runes
doesn't
say?
necessarily mean
Oh,
that they have to be
it
capable
says
of everything.
family. That's not a clue. It's the answer. What I alone can never be. Right?
Use your knife and trace the runes into the sand.
Really?
right, Kratos, like I don't care.
Pencil. Something happened.
Doors open. Okay.
I can never be family alone.
Well, sometimes I kind of
It worked.
like, okay, Laura wears a tank top when the mountain was frozen up.
I'm happy we met Brock.
No,
but
no matter how strong you
I'm
are,
happier we're leaving this
you're
place.
gonna die.
It is behind us now.
I
Yeah.
would die out in that cold with like 3 or 4 layers on.
So I was like, no.
There's something
and
up there.
and then it's not about, oh, we're women, so therefore we should be strong. Why can't they make a strong woman character? No, it's not about that. It's like, no.
The strongest characters have weakness. Because,
Boy.
and I learned
These
this
tracks.
playing like tabletop games.
A boar, maybe? Not sure.
In tabletop
But I'll
games,
find.
the weaknesses that you give your characters make
It
them
is
way
important
more
for a
interesting.
warrior to keep his skills sharp.
And I don't necessarily like how they just sometimes force me to play a female character just because, oh, we want to push this agenda. And then a lot of people will have their opinions, and we respect that. But then they will say something like, "Oh, why shouldn't they do that?" Well, just like Assassin's Creed Syndicate. I mean, you can choose like some character you have to play Evie, and some chapter you have to play Jacob. I don't like Evie because she is I don't know. I think just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't like her. I don't want to play as her. But I was forced to, just because, you know, I mean, for video game character development.
Yeah, punch him in his nuts. Get him.
Nuts. But I don't want to be forced to play. Like, how about this? They make God of War, and then for half the game you have to play as Kratos, you know, wife or something. How do you like it?
Well, if she's a good character, then that's...
Yeah, exactly. Like, if she is good, then she is good. But if you have to play it, you have to appraise it just because, oh, look, it's a woman. Then no. I'm not gonna like or dislike a character just because it's a woman. It's how they, you know, make the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's called fleshing out a character, and that's something that a lot of people do poorly because, well, everyone's just so damn interested in making their female characters the exact same smirking, skinny, the strong and capable, you know, whatever. She's smart, she's strong, she's skinny, she's got it all. Well, she doesn't have weaknesses, and that makes her boring.
Oh, you did.
And this whole thing about weaknesses, the deal with weakness is that it gives someone constraints. And when they have to address those weaknesses, then you end up with some characters doing some very memorable and creative things. Like, here's one of my favorite stories from when we were playing tabletop games. We were playing Shadowrun, and I created a character that had, you know, tons of weaknesses. And the reason I wanted weaknesses is because the weaknesses give you more of a stat to spec into.
Nornir. The Fates. No good comes from them.
Right.
Right.
Well,
Referring back to God of War 2.
well, when you make a character with a lot of weaknesses and you have to overcome those weaknesses, then you end up with some really interesting situations pop up. And that fleshes out a character more than anything because you have to determine how do they overcome this, how do they grow from this.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Kratos is, like, I guess he's grown a lot, but it's kind of weird to see Kratos in this position because...
more HP.
Right. It's kind of weird to see him in this position. Because I find it really difficult to relate this Kratos to the Kratos in God of War 1.
Well, that's all about story, like how they make.
Boy,
I mean,
I hear
it
your
is.
animal ahead.
Well, one of the most memorable things that I had done in Shadowrun, and this was the only thing I did in Shadowrun, was I made a character with all these weaknesses, and he was basically crippled and bedridden, but he had so much money that his bed was just super decked out in high-tech stuff. It could float, and it could get him around everywhere. He had super high charisma, and long story short...
Oh, never mind. He's not left-handed. Okay.
Right. Long story short...
I hit it, didn't I? I do what you
I
said.
hate her.
I ended up creating a cult by accident because I high rolled. It was really cool. And then I ended up embezzling in that, and then I created a new form of animal husbandry based magic called ferretmancy. It was bizarre, but it was really fun because there's just a whole bunch of things that could happen that opened up because my character was not necessarily such an oddball, but since there was so much for him to work past, it made the solutions very creative.
Take that bird.
I'll become more interested in the dialogue again once I actually reach Once I actually reached the spot that I had reached before, we tragically lost all our fucking recorded footage. Sorry if I'm talking over everything right now. It's just. Ugh.
Did you just destroy those boxes via a door? I mean, through...
Destroyed the door through the wall, yeah.
I mean, you destroy boxes behind a wooden wall, but a wooden wall is okay. Yeah, don't think too hard, I guess.
Thank you, large hitboxes. And hit detection.
Oh,
Take that, house.
burn the house.
Shoot him. Yeah. Man, it's really weird. I think watching this and playing this would be such a drastically different experience than you get watching versus playing another game.
Oh.
Just because of Atreus and how Atreus interacts with what you do.
Oh,
Like,
by the way, you forgot to
Here,
equip the heavy
Ran
rune.
under.
right. Thank you. Blast radius with freeze, knockback. Got it. I'll learn to use those eventually.
Right. Oops. So, back to that gender agenda thing is like, okay. In Origin, Ascrid Origin,
Elbow
that
up.
you have
Steady
to.
hand. Relax.
Okay.
Accuracy over speed. Yes!
Do not lose it.
What is that I sense? Is that pride? And all that pride turns to disgust.
Oops. So in Origins,
Boy.
you have to play Aya for the like. Okay, you play as Bayek, the main character, who's a male, the whole game. You grow on him and you level them up. You give him all the cool shit you can find or farm. Then the last few chapters, you have to play his wife.
They kind of force that on you too, and they're just like, "Yeah, you remember that build that you got? Remember all that stuff that you worked toward, and all that, all those weapons you learned how to use? Too bad, you got to use the twin blades."
Yes, like I haven't even used a twin blade the whole game. It's not a bow I like. It's not a twin. It's not a weapon I like. It's not even the level I like. And then I was like, okay, there we go. And then overall, like everyone's like, oh, just kidding. She is the founder of Ascrid, is Assassin,
Atreus!
you know, organization all along. Bamboozled.
We didn't know he belonged to anyone.
He doesn't. He's my friend.
The boy was following my command.
Then help fix this. Hold here,
Dude, she's got a.
please.
Is that a sword
Hold, I said,
with
he's
a
losing
with a
blood.
butterfly on the hilt?
The last of his kind, and
No, that's
nothing.
not butterfly. That's
Shoot him.
to.
You needed food?
Target practice.
Target practice.
I'm so sorry.
Rip boar.
Keep that pressure on. The blame is mine. Should have kept a closer eye.
Will he die?
I will not let him. You. The arrow cut a tideway inside him. Find both ends and hold them tightly. Start with the left side. Grab it and hold. Now the right side. Hold it tight.
This
Good.
is a new
Now
age
pull them
quick time
together.
event.
Line them up. So now,
You're a witch.
I can't finish the healing here. My home is just beyond the trees there. You will carry him. He must not die.
See, a female character, which I like from the
He
first
seems
sight.
stable and calm for now. Great.
Well, she has motivations.
Yep.
Not just being a
This way.
Oh, look at me, I'm so strong because I'm female.
smirking, strong, independent, whatever you are.
Which I
Yeah,
have
she's
power.
more like a crazy person in the woods.
Yeah.
That bow's a little big for you, isn't it?
My mother made it for me. Said I'd grow into it.
I've never seen you in these woods. She must miss you being
It's
away.
like
She's dead. We're taking her ashes to the highest peak in the realms.
Ashes?
It was her last wish.
Boy,
I'm sorry for your loss.
So another female character I really like, Ellie from Last of Us.
Yeah.
We're here.
You live in a tree?
Not in it. Below it.
I'm a big believer in that there are good, well-written characters and bad characters. And bad characters are ones that people didn't really think too hard about. They just made them they made them out of some sort of template, and then here they are. And I guess give them crazy red hair or something like
Is he
that. And
friendly?
there, that's all there is to it.
boy.
I promise you.
I
he's
like
safe.
I would call him Turtle.
Look at how baller this is.
I know. Oh, the mushrooms, look at that. There are mushrooms on their feet. Look at that PS2 graphic, isn't it? Just joking.
Yeah, I don't know about PS2. Maybe PS2 would be able to render this in a couple of days.
Maybe as a 2D image.
Just work that Donkey Kong tech,
Quickly.
Or that Halo.
where you load in a 3D sprite and then save it, or
Place
you
them on
load
the
in a
staple.
3D image and then save it as a 2D sprite. You just take a shitload of pictures from
Keep
as
'em
many
still.
angles as possible.